Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bob. I will be your dungeon master for tonight. Just kidding. I will be your host for this live stream. No games today. We've got a State of the Union, as Stefano likes to call it. State of the Channel, maybe is better fitting. Hello, YouTube chat. Welcome, welcome. The first thing that I think you'll realize, I think you'll realize, is just fixing some audio here. I think the first thing you'll realize is we're only streaming to YouTube tonight, and that is one of the bigger announcements. Is I'm no longer going to be streaming to Twitch, and we'll talk all about that in a little bit. But I've decided I'm going to stick to straight YouTube. So there you go. First reveal of the night, right off the gate. How's it going, CJ? Greyhawk Exile, nice to see you. Grim Gary, Chris from Long Island, James, welcome. Ben, good to see you. Yeah, so yeah, I see some of you probably don't care about Twitch. YouTube is probably where you found me, and so that's where you'll continue watching me. We'll get into it in a little bit. Yeah, no more Twitch, but for now, let's just say for now, because nothing is ever truly permanent, right? We can always make the switch to Twitch if we need to. Yeah, no Twitch. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy New Year coming up. I had a fantastic Christmas. I hope you did too. If you celebrated Hanukkah or another holiday, I hope you enjoyed the time with family and friends. Just a couple of things to get out of the way here. This is going to be I want to keep this brief. I don't want to go on and talk for a long time. You all know that I can. So I want to try to keep this within the hour, right? This 9 o'clock hour here on the East Coast. I want to make sure that I address a few things about what we've done this year, and then touch on some of the things I plan on doing, and also reveal a few new projects that I'm working on. So that's my goal of tonight's stream. I'll also answer some questions from the chat, if that's something that we have time for at the end. But I want to make sure I get to everything before we really take questions. And, look, this is not such serious stuff here. I mean, this is State of the Channel. It's, my little YouTube channel. So I don't plan on being too long-winded here. But a couple thank yous to get out of the way here. First off, thank you to all of you watching, especially people who watch the channel regularly, whether it's the long-form campaigns you watch, or you like the compilations of one-shots, or any other thing I do here on the channel, the DM guides. I just want to thank you, because this was a great 2022, and I'm really looking forward to the new year and what we're going to do here on the channel. Partly reflecting on goals is kind of like what I really would like to do here. Things that I did last year that I liked, things that I will continue that I did, and things that I'll change. That's really my goal here, to review it all and to give you a bit of an insight as to what I'm thinking, because sometimes you follow a channel, and same thing happens with me. I have a couple channels that I follow. I like to see what they're doing, and I like to see that kind of behind the scenes, or the mindset of the I guess in this case the content creator, but the dungeon master, so to speak. Okay, so first things first, let's some thank yous. Patrons. At the end of my videos, you see all of the patrons that I have. This year we started the Patreon, so a lot of people signed up for the Patreon. We have 11 right now. We had 2 new people very recently. Wayne finally joined the Patreon. I know Wayne's been a long time viewer. If you've ever seen him in the chat before, he's joined on the Patreon. And then Elizabeth H. We're gonna get her on the newest one. I think January will be when I update the little trailer at the end when I put the names on. But so it's going good. Patreon's great. I've got the Patreon campaign. We're running Red Hand of Doom starting in January. I'm very excited for that. That's going to be beginning. So thank you to all the patrons who support me. It's really a motivating factor, and helps me, pay for some of the things that I kind of need to get, modules and books, and it really does help out. So thank you. And if you'd like to support the channel in any way, you can see description has links down below for a variety of ways to contribute. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about this year, 2022. At the beginning of the year, I actually posted a video of a thank you to 2021. I rewatched it. I made it. It was a recorded video, a little different than what I'm doing now, and I wasn't crazy about the recording that video. It always feels, when I'm talking about a module or, my DM prep or thoughts like that, it comes out more natural. I hate talking just at a camera and not feeling natural, right? Like right now I feel fine because it's like I'm talking to all you. But I hate recording videos. I really do. So I'm not going to do those like year in review videos. This is what I'm going to do. This is kind of what I'm replacing it with. This sort of content where I'm talking to you live. Um, and Also, you get to interact a little bit. So I see the comments. I'm actually, every now and then I look at the comments and I just laugh to myself. So yeah, congratulations. If you ever see me just lose my train of thought for a second, it means I just checked the chat. Um, and this year got off to a great start. We actually did, looking back this year, we did so many things, things that I had promised you we would do, and some things I never ended up doing. But let's talk about some of the things that I promised that I would do, and we did. We had more live plays. Obviously, that was big, right? We started the year off with rank amateurs, which was where we finally got Estelle on the channel. Estelle, CJ, Kyle, Joey, Steph. The five of them were goblinoid characters. They went on and did some wacky adventures. We also had a lot of other sort of one shots like that. I did a finished Blood Lament, which was the Esper the Bard adventure that he created with his Emporium book. That was fantastic. We had Michelle and Nate and Stefano and John and Andrew. Was going to say, I'm forgetting somebody there, but we had a really, really great time doing those like sort of short campaigns. They were really supposed to be probably a one shot, and just how I can't pace things, so it ended up being longer than that. And then CJ took the reins and did some we'll call them mini campaigns, right? Where it's a one shot or two, and then it ends up being like 4 or 5, or in this case, Tomoa-chan was 8. So that was really fun. I think Tomoa-chan was cool because I got to be a player on the channel for the first time. And DJ, if you're out there, thank you so much for running that. And then eventually we followed it up with Spelljammer in the end of the summer, but we'll talk about Spelljammer a little bit more later. I did do a couple of other non-gaming related things on the channel. I did, and I wrote things down, but collaborations. I did a lot of collaborations this year. I finally I don't know, got up the nerve isn't the right way to say it, because I would email, or I would reach out to anybody if I needed something, but I felt like I wanted to branch out and talk to more YouTubers, people who are creating D&D content, and just kind of work together, right? So I did it. I just did it. Started with Esper the Bard, who good friend of the channel now. Esper's he came on the channel to play in the now I can't remember the name of it, but the Lighthouse adventure. Oh gosh, now I can't remember anything. But anyway, yeah. So we had Esper the Bard came on. We had Sarah from the Hype Goblin. She came on as well. We had Fritz, obviously, and Jordan from Flute Salute came on to play that Lighthouse adventure. And now the name is completely escaping me, but the Lighthouse was awesome. That adventure from the Arcane Library, it was really cool, and we ended up making it a 3-part adventure. We also had Opal from Flute Salute. Jordan and Opal have been on the channel now. Opal came and played in one of the Radiant Citadels. I also hosted one of the Dungeon Master Roundtables, which you've probably seen on YouTube before, hosted mostly by Fred Wheeler from How to D&D. But I had Fred, I had AJ Pickett, Mr. Welch, Colby from D4 Deep Dive. I also had Jordan as well in that roundtable, and Wally DM, who then also came on to the channel to play in another Radiant Citadel. So there was a lot of collaboration, and I really enjoyed meeting and making new friends. It was really cool. Also, just that sort of shared kind of realm that we are all in, and kind of getting to know how opinions on certain things that they do and the behind the scenes stuff was really valuable, I think, to me trying to make some decisions as a content creator here on YouTube. So that was fun. A lot of collaborations this year, and I think the channel really did benefit from that. I also did some Bob Talks, which I really want to pick up more. I feel like the long form, like a podcast, it's fun to do, but editing those videos is kind of hard. I don't want them to be super long, and we ended up talking for like an hour and a half to Sarah, an hour and 15 minutes, I think, to Esper. So it was kind of time intensive, I guess is the word to say, but I do want to start doing a couple more of those and get those back as well. and that's going to be something I will try to do more regularly. But I also do feel like I found the focus of the channel, and I really this is kind of something that I want to share with everybody more about the direction in a little bit, and we'll talk about that soon. Other some one shots that I did Esper's Esoterica Encounter Lost Things, which had a whole slew of people from different campaigns on my channel. That was a lot of fun. Don't Say Vecna, we did the level 20 adventure, Don't Say Vecna, which was silly. And I think CJ is still reeling from that. And then we did the Radiant Citadel. Yeah, we should talk about the Radiant Citadel. So now that's kind of like getting all the things we did out of the way. Did a lot of stuff this year. It really felt good. Oh, before we talk about the Radiant Citadel, the biggest and most obvious things that happened this year, but we also continued the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. We had the epic finale right at the end of the year in December. Fantastic adventure, fantastic campaign. So happy that Mike and Dasha, Randall, and Christian were able to survive and get to the end and had that happy ending that they all really, really were hoping for, getting Boppy back at the end. Also, final note of the year, Keep on the Borderlands. We're moving into year 3. I know that Keep on the Borderlands is, we were doing it every other week, so it was a little bit slower paced, but, we're going every week now. We're going every week now. So I think we're going to really pick up steam towards the end here. Now let's talk a little bit about the Radiant Citadel and things that I'm planning for next year. First off, Radiant Citadel Adventures. Yeah, CJ said, we said Vecna just under 70 times. Is that really the count? It was that high? Oh my gosh. It was very hard. I don't think we said it that many times, but we said it a lot. It was hard to keep it under wraps. But let's transition to what what really I think most people are here interested for, and I'll put timestamps down below once this video is done, so you can toggle through and get to those things. But now let's focus on what's coming up. We did 6 Radiant Citadels. I'm not going to name them all. I don't remember all the names either, but the Radiant Citadel was a book, I think, by Wizards of the Coast that had a very good premise, very poor execution. I think it's hard not to compare it to Candlekeep Mysteries because my channel, I think I made this joke at the beginning of this year, that my channel in 2021 was the Candlekeep Mysteries channel because we did all of them, and scheduling was such a pain in the butt, and but we did it because I really felt passionate about those adventures, and I think all of them had a lot of merit, even the bad ones. Maybe not the Book of the Raven. I really didn't like that one, but the other 12 were fantastic. They were so well done and well paced, and I felt like each of them had a unique flavor and theme, and they didn't really step on each other's toes. They all kind of had their own thing they were doing, and I really enjoyed them. I enjoyed making the review for them. The Radiant Citadels, I have found it to be not nearly as engaging. I think the Radiant Citadels were, and this is no knock on the authors because I don't know what happens from idea, original draft to what gets in the book, so I can't speak to that. And to be honest, I think a lot of the adventures, they don't have the names of the authors on them, so I'm not picking on any individual content creator here, but I think that there was some sort of a disconnect between the Radiant Citadel and the Candlekeeps. Radiant Citadel adventures, they don't feel as cohesive. They feel like they are, and yet very similar. I know that sounds weird, but I didn't really enjoy the ones that I didn't do based on my first read of them. And even the ones that I did, while I always have fun playing and my players made the best of those adventures, we had some really fantastic, not just players, but portrayals of characters. And I really also feel like these ones were just rushed. There's a lot of things that you have to do as a DM to connect the dots. There's a lot of ways that they could go off the rails and not in a good way, not like being more freeform, because like the Price of Beauty in Candlekeep Mysteries was so well paced and so many ways that you could go about discovering the hags and what they're doing there, but they don't really have options. It feels more railroady, and if you were to try to break the scenario, it would break the scenario, ending the one shot rather abruptly, or maybe just making the party disinterested. So I don't feel like they're good out of in like a campaign where you place them in, and they're certainly not as good as a one shot as the Candlekeep. So the long and short of things is I just don't think I'm going to continue that series. I just don't have the passion for it. It also takes a lot out of me to do one shots. I've talked to a lot of my players about this, and maybe you don't see this, and I hope you don't see this because I hope I am always lively and bubbly when I'm on camera. But when I play past about 11:30, I turn into a pumpkin and I can't do it anymore. And some of those one shots, if I'm trying to put kids to bed and then hop down here at 8:30, which is usually why I'm late, is because I just trying to help my wife out, get the kids to bed, and then come down here and run on, and it feels like if I end those games aren't going to end, right? They're not going to end till after midnight. Most certainly after midnight, and a lot of them even go till like 1 o'clock here on the Eastern time. So one shots are hard for me. I actually love one shots. I actually really love them, but playing late into night is too hard. So I'm going to make sure that if I do a one shot and a true one shot, that I will make sure I pare it down so that it fits into the nice 4 hour frame. And I probably will do them only on weekends. So that's my goal for one shots. It will mostly be done like daytime, like noon or something like that, where on a Saturday or a Sunday where I have time to do it. Yeah, James, I think you're seeing here disconnected and vapid. That's what you said about Radiant Citadel. Yeah, I think the Radiant Citadel had good premise. I really do. I think it was cool, but none of the stories connected to it, right? Like if you've read through the book, none of those stories ever actually take you through the Radiant Citadel. And Candlekeep had a number of ones that took place right there in the keep, and even the ones that didn't felt like they were connected to the library. These could just be run. There's no even need to call it the Radiant Citadel. It just could be a region that's celebrating a festival. Like every one of them is celebrating a festival at the beginning of it. So like it is what it is. I'm not knocking the creators of those, but I don't have the passion to do it, and a lot of what I do here is because I love to do what I do. I'm not running this channel because I want to get rich and famous, so to speak, as some people might, but I just love what I do. I love playing games and love sharing them with you and creating this community. And if I'm not passionate about something, I just won't do it. So that's my goal here. So yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, no more Radiant Citadels. Although I will say, I am gonna have one more Radiant Citadel because there was one that I ran, but not on the channel, and I thought it was so cool. It was probably my favorite one. So I am gonna run that one. Just not exactly sure when. I probably will do it soon though. Soon within the next month or two. But I'll keep you updated on that. There's only one that I still want to go forward with. All right. So now some other things here. Obviously, we return in January. We've got Spelljammer, Light of Xerxes. That's going to continue throughout January. CJ has been doing such a fantastic job getting through these adventures as they are kind of written, right? Like CJ told us all that they're 12 chapters, and they are like kind of perfect for one session of like 2.5 hours. I said, well, CJ, that's not going to happen. We're going to double that for sure. But CJ's been right, pretty much. The only episode that we haven't finished in one, or chapter that we haven't finished in one session, was the most recent one, chapter 9, chapter 8. I forget which one. But chapter 8 or 9, we finished that one right before break. And we're going to continue back up, hopefully keeping the pace. But I'm assuming it's going to go through January, right? January has 5 Tuesdays. So I've slotted the entire month of January for CJ and Spelljammer. I have a feeling we're going to be fine. So thank you, CJ, clarifying there, chapter 9. So we're going to be picking back up with Spelljammer and finishing it. I've had a blast playing in this adventure. I think this adventure gets a bad rep from like the internet because it wasn't as good as people had hoped in some way. Like it didn't have good comprehensive starship combat or something like that. Like, being a player and not reading through it, I don't know everything, but just saying from being the player side, I love it. I think it's awesome. Happy to play through it and enjoying the story that's being put forward. So if you haven't tried Spelljammer because you're like, I heard bad reviews, really, the players in the group always make and elevate the material, right? They really do. So if you feel like you want to give it a shot, Tuesdays in January, you can catch up on the playlist. I have that updated here on the channel, so check it out. And then keep on the Borderlands. Everyone's favorite old school modules coming back in January as well, January 4th. We're going to be doing every week. So Spelljammer is going to be Tuesdays, and Keep on the Borderlands is going to be Wednesdays. And, the Keep is such a strange one, right? Like, Keep is the old school modules, they don't really have a structure like the 5e modules or even 3e, 4e, where it's, more of like a cohesive story. It's more of like a sandbox. And so the game could end rather abruptly depending how the group carries themselves right now. Right now they're in the caves, deep into them. So, I don't know exactly when it's going, but I assume with going every week, we're going to pick up steam. We're going to really move forward and finish this thing up by the spring. That is my current projects, right? That's what's currently going on here on the channel. And now a couple of things, more about general changes. And like I said before, I really feel like I figured out the goal of what my channel is. But what it started is that I like live plays. I feel like my games are pretty good. I just need to figure out the technology and put it up there, and I feel like people will enjoy it. That was really, truly it. And also I like helping people. I'm a teacher. I like to teach people things. So I'll do guides of the adventures that I run. So run them on the channel and throw some guides up there. The guides are labor intensive. They take a long time to make. And for a while, I slacked on the Avernus ones, but they are very popular and people seem to really want them. I've had so many people reach out to me and say, hey, are you going to finish the Avernus videos? And I've always been like, yeah, I'll get to it. But, I was so focused on these games and so focused on, the live plays and the campaigns that I had going on. I had at one point, I was telling Stefano this the other day. At some point on this channel, I was running Icewind Dale Rime and the Frost Maiden. I was running The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. And I was running Keep on the Borderlands all at the same time. 3 long form campaigns, ones that are going to go for, a year plus on the channel. One was ending, one just started, and one was in the middle. But that's a lot. And I felt not burned out, so to speak, because I feel like I could plow through stuff and I'm always motivated. I get hyped up for whatever's coming that week. But it was a lot. And it was taking a lot of time, and I didn't really. I have to manage my time a little better. So I'm going to, one of the big structural changes here is I'm going to try to get more of a balance between like actual videos, guides, things like that, and the live plays. To do that, to make it more manageable, I'm really going to try to do one live play at a time, right? So for long campaigns, for a campaign that is going to be 20 sessions or more, right? Something like that, something that's going to be long form. The Spelljammers, the Tomoa-chans, the rank amateurs, one shots that could now be split up into multi-shots, those will still be here, and I'm not going to avoid doing those, but I am definitely going to make sure I pace myself a little better and don't overcommit to doing so many things. I definitely want to continue having multiple forms of entertainment, things that you can watch. And, even if you don't like the current campaign, I think the whole thing at this point now, going into the third full year of the channel, is that you like us, right? Like you like me and maybe my DMing skills or maybe not even my DMing skills, CJ, or you just like us. You like the players, you like the groups that we have, because I do mix them all up. That you enjoy some of it. And so even if you aren't watching every single thing, you might really like these groups or this player or this scenario, and you have something to watch. That's really my goal. So keeping one long campaign with little things kind of side by side so that I don't get overwhelmed or overburdened with stuff. That's the big schedule change here. Then I think another change that's going to happen is YouTube only. I really wanted to make Twitch kind of work and be a major, not major, not I wanted to be a major. I wanted to spread out as much as possible, right? Get as many people to see the content as possible. But the Twitch, I don't really understand it as much. I've tried, I've watched videos, I just don't see the growth there. And I've also seen people suggest advice every which way. And I think for me, I just want to focus on YouTube. It's clearly where my audience is. It's clearly where people watch during the live chats. I mean, you can see the Keep on the Borderlands chat sometimes has 30 plus people in it. And that's what I want to focus on. I don't want to divert or kind of dilute the stream. It's all going to be on YouTube now. And again, if I, in 6 months, if I feel the need to go back, I will, but I'm only going to do what's best for the channel, and YouTube is going to be priority, right? YouTube's going to be the priority. And then last thing here is, if a game is going to be longer, let's say it's going to go 20 plus, it's going to be something like a Wild Beyond the Witchlight, a Keep on the Borderlands, Icewind Dale. What I might do is break them up into seasons. That way I can break things up, make it so that, we have breaks in between, because it's a commitment for my players too, right? I I'm going to be doing this because I love it, right? But my players sometimes will commit something, and is it 20 games? Is it 30? Is it 50? Is it Icewind Dale 57? That's a lot of time that they have to commit, and I want to be able to give them a little bit of a break, make sure that they don't get burned out themselves. It doesn't feel like a chore. So I'm going to do anything that's longer is going to be broken up into like seasons. Maybe we'll do 16 to 20 episodes, take a month or two off, right? And come back more like energized. And not that I think we didn't, but that's what I'm going to do. And that'll also give me a chance to break up sort of the monotony of only having one campaign going. I can do some smaller projects when that frees up. So that's what I'm going to do for more structural changes to the channel. I'm looking over at the chat here. James from Casey, Patreon campaign. Well, I don't have plans for the Patreon campaign to go live. I think I've mentioned this to the Patreon people, that that's actually a super awesome way for me to kind of get a little bit of a break of the streaming, because the streaming, I love it and everything, but I'm always on. I always have to be like fixing things and editing windows and watching and managing while I play. It's kind of fun just to play. And not, it's almost like feels like the way I used to play before the channel, right? It's just us playing. So that's, I don't have any anticipation of that going live. But you guys, you're all great players, so it's fantastic. But I just, at this time, I want to keep it off air right now. And monetization, not that important to me at all. In fact, not whatsoever. I do enjoy the fact that the channel is now monetized, because, before I was monetized, Icewind Dale, I bought the book. It's a, $40 something or whatever it was, $50. I bought the module on Roll20, which was another like $30. There's $80 right there. So just getting the module, just what I need to play. Cause I don't know about you all. I need to have the book to play, right? Like I need to take this in the car with me when I'm, passenger and read it. I need to be like laying in bed, reading the book. I can't read it digitally. I can have it digitally up when I'm playing to like kind of aid me a bit, but when I am really just focused, I need to have it. So I need to buy things for the channel, and headsets, microphones, the computer in general, things will need to be replaced. And so it's good to have some cash to be able to do that. But no, monetization is not really the end goal for me. I just, like I said, I love playing games. I hope that comes across to everybody, that I just really enjoy what I do here. Yeah, Chris, yeah, no doubt. Classic module winning the formula, right? I mean, it is no doubt the Keep on the Borderlands is the most watched live stream. I kind of knew that. I thought that it would be very popular because it's got that name recognition. I mean, I've always been interested in Keep on the Borderlands for a long time. Never played it because most of the things that I was doing is were 5e stuff, but I was always interested in playing it, and so now that I had the channel and I wanted to put stuff out there, I wanted to put out something that people would recognize, and it's fun that I've built a community with all of you. But I do love a lot of the 5e stuff too. I actually, I was having a conversation with another friend of mine the other day, and I was saying 5e, while definitely it is different and more player friendly oriented, player characters are tougher, definitely. You've seen it, everyone. I've killed many characters on the channel, and it's just there is I think a mindset that goes along with it, and I do have an old school mindset. I just think death is so important in the game, and I don't want to pull punches or make things easier. I love the fact that you can all see my rolls when I play, but my players don't. But you do, so you know that I'm being honest, and I think that goes a long way of showing the rolls. I've seen a lot of live streams that are fantastic, but you know, doubt creeps in your mind when you see a roll come up, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it was an important roll, and you made it, or the DM missed. I like seeing that, and I have a commitment to being like that open roller, right? I always want to have the dice rolls shown so you can see that I'm not pulling the punches. And I think that mindset goes a long way into making 5e more deadly. But, that's another chat for another stream here. But I do like the format that I do with the live streams. I like the group of players that I have. I've known all these players basically in real life, right? And we're playing now on the channel and people are getting to see how awesome they are. So I want to keep doing that. Mixing up the roster, mixing up the casts. I really do enjoy that. I will always try to have a mixture of things to watch. Like I said, even if I'm not doing another, whatever it is, 5e module at the moment, there will be some we're playing 5e, and even one shots will be 5e. So even if I'm doing an old school module or a new school, it's going to be a mix. And I think that's the plan going forward. So I've talked enough. I think there are a couple of announcements that people want to hear about, so we're going to go to it. First thing is I'm going to be going back to Avernus videos. I'm going to crank out these last Avernus videos. I'm going to make them as quick as possible so that I can get them done, because when Keep on the Borderlands does end, and I'm just going to go to OBS here because I have some things to show here. Yeah, I think I have it here. Yep, perfect. Okay. There we go. All right, so here's the deal. When Keep on the Borderlands eventually does end, I do plan on doing a DM's guide to the Keep on the Borderlands. I definitely can't do this yet because I feel like I have a lot of ideas and things that I would put in my first episode of a DM's guide to the Keep on the Borderlands is going to be spoilers. So I have to finish the actual Keep on the Borderlands before I do this. But that's going to be one of the things that I really am looking forward to, because I have so many ideas about, especially about running that in 5th edition. I feel like I would be perfect to, I want to give that experience that I had to other DMs. So I'm going to do that next. That's going to be my next project. I'm going to get those Avernus videos finished, talk about the Avernus chapter and finishing the book. And then once Keep on the Borderlands ends, I'm going to do a DM's guide to it. That's the first big announcement. New projects coming up. Your thoughts, everybody? You want to see that? I feel like it's going to be cool because you'll have seen, if you have watched the live play of Keep on the Borderlands, you will then at each kind of step, chapter, I'll talk about what I was thinking in that moment. And, I'll have clips to show, which is kind of cool, right? Like I'll have examples to show. Whereas with Avernus, I wasn't streaming at the time, so I don't have those, but, I'm really excited. Yeah. I'm really excited to do that. So DM's guides for Keep on the Borderlands coming soon. Spelljammer, like I said, is slotted for January. So here's another big reveal. I feel like this could be a polarizing reveal here, so just bear with me, everybody. You all know how much I love horror, right? I love horror movies. I love horror stories, especially like short stories. I love one-shots for horror. Well, obviously Supernatural 20 is coming back. I was going to put a reveal of it, but I'm in the works right now with Steve, Michelle, Andrew. Steph had her baby, so she may not be joining us right away. Yeah, she might have some other things going on. And who am I missing here? Oh, and Christian. We're going back and forth trying to figure out the dates, so I don't have a reveal for Supernatural 20. It will be coming back. But if you know how much I love horror, then this won't be a surprise. But I am going to be running Call of Cthulhu here on the channel. Yeah, I have been an admirer of Call of Cthulhu for a couple of years now. I've really fell in love with the game by watching some live plays. I I think this is such a cool, uh, especially the seventh edition rule set is such a cool, dynamic game rules. It's fantastic. I have been immersing myself into the game for the last couple of weeks. I purchased, the main rule book, the starter set. I purchased a couple of other things here, and I love the system. Let me switch back here. This is going to be a awesome one. I've never played. The idea behind this is we are going to play and learn how to play on the channel live. I'm going to be the keeper. I have Tim, Dasha, and John joining me for this. We're going to keep it small because, again, the whole point is we want to learn. So I don't want to overburden myself with having super groups here, six people. But I was talking with Tim about this at school, and I think we're all super excited for this. I have been I see the chat here. Yeah. Let's see here. CJ, been reading Lovecraft. Actually, I do. I have read a few. I haven't read any lately, but over the past couple of years, I've read a few of them. I've read now the names are going to escape me, but Pickman's Model, the short story that was real creepy. The Mountains of Madness. I've read a couple of other ones now. I can't think of it. The one with the brains in the jars in the house at the end. I forget now. Jeez, or Innsmouth, something like that. Anyway, I enjoy Call of Cthulhu Mythos. I'm gonna be running that here on the channel, and I'm so excited because we're gonna make so many mistakes. It's gonna be awesome. I am gonna be running a module. I'm not gonna be creating something, especially the first time I'm doing this. We're gonna make many mistakes. We're gonna have a true session 0 for this. We're gonna make characters, and then we're gonna play the module. And it's going to probably take like 3 or 4 sessions, right? That's the way I'm thinking of it, especially if we're going a little slow, trying to make sure that we know the rules. Although I've told them all, rules come secondary to the story and the stream here. So we're going to make sure that whatever we're doing, if we fumble some rules, I'm sure we'll pick it up the next time, right? We'll get better at it each time, but we want to do everything in service of the story. So that's the second big reveal. To tack on to this, I actually am going to be doing more non-D&D RPGs this year. I've actually have a few in mind. You might even know if you've talked to me or you've seen me post things before. I have a very specific, some very specific ones in mind. I'm not going to say them right now because I don't want to say them and then they don't happen and then I seem like I'm lying. But there are a couple of other non-D&D RPGs that I definitely will try here on the channel in the same sort of format where we get a group together to try to learn the game. We make characters, we go through that process, we go through the rules, and then we play a scenario, and maybe it takes 3 or 4 sessions. I'm going to try to do that probably at least like 3 or 4 times this year. That would be my goal. I really would love to get more RPGs on the channel. It's funny. I see here Star Wars RPG in the chat. I played the Star Wars RPG, the D20 one, for years, and I DM'd a long campaign when I was in high school for my friends. We loved that system, but I don't know that I want to do something that's out of print, and I also don't know if you can get those books or if it's easy. I mean, maybe you can. You probably get anything online, but the Star Wars one we will not be doing right now, even though I do love Star Wars. But more to come on that. I'll post more as these projects become more in reach. Right now, the one we're doing is Call of Cthulhu, so I'm excited for that. All right, and then the Keep on the Borderlands. So obviously, the Keep on the Borderlands is going to be ending soon with the every week schedule. I imagine the Keep is going to be, 8, 9, 10 more sessions. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. So the next one doesn't have as specific of a date because it is, like I said, a little up in the air. But the spring of 2023, here's the announcement. I'm going to be running Tomb of Horrors. and it's going to be a little different than the Tomb of Horrors that you probably know. I am actually going to be making this more into a actual campaign. It's not going to be a one shot. In fact, it's not going to be a two shot or a three shot or a four shot. It's actually going to be a campaign that I think could go about 15 to 20 episodes. It's going to have a lot to it. I've actually been in talks with one of my patrons, Vegas Paladin, Robert. We've been chatting about this for a few months now. Actually, I've said that I've wanted to run it, and I have some ideas that will, I think, make this even more interesting. Because to be honest, and look at you all, right? If you look, we're honest with yourself. If you've ever played Tomb of Horrors, it's cool. It's more of a novelty, right? It's more of a see how far you can get. You die. There's a lot of no save death mechanics, right? You open a door and up, you died. Like, I think that the campaign has, or the module has, more potential than that. I'm going to make it have story. I'm going to make it have a background, a setting. I'm going to place it in the our homebrew campaign setting of Illustria, the one that Mike, who you remember from Wild and the Witchlight, has created and has graciously lent me his world. It's going to be fantastic. I'm actually really excited because it's high level, right? And a lot of things in D&D are that mid range, right? A lot of things end between 6 and 10. This is going to start at level 12. So I'm really excited to do this. The cast is going to be great. I have from Keep on the Borderlands, I have Chris and Nate. So they're going to be joining us for this. I also have CJ and Estelle. So I think this group is going to be ready for this challenge. I think it's going to be more deadlier than they think in some ways, and in other ways a bit more of a real story and campaign where where Tomb was lacking. So yeah, and great cast. Thank you, James, for that. The one thing too is I want to get as many of my players in things as possible. I hate the idea because we're all friends, right? I know pretty much all of them well before the channel. So I want to make sure I try to get as many people and voices into the streams. That's my goal. But sometimes there isn't stuff for everybody. So this format of switching it up to going to seasons for the long things or one long form campaign at a time will give me the opportunity to hopefully get more and more people into these streams that I can, because I love playing with all of them and I would love to get more people involved. So that's my big, yeah, I think that's it. That's my big reveal here. So when Spelljammer ends, we're going to be doing Call of Cthulhu. When Keep on the Borderlands ends, we're going to be doing Tomb of Horrors. And like I said, these are going to be, everything. That's a good question. Actually, I just saw, I'm looking at the chat right now. I normally don't have the chat up, but I just saw it. Will Tomb be weekly? Yeah. So all of my games from now on are going to be weekly. I actually didn't talk about that. I didn't write that down. I should have wrote that down when I went over the major changes. I'm not digging the bi-weekly stuff. I'm not digging it. I don't like the lag that kind of comes with it. I feel like once you get started, then you gotta wait 2 weeks. If there's a holiday or if there's some sort of interruption, we're all professionals and we have our own jobs. Something comes up and we have to skip a week. It ends up being just a little bit too much of a break. So I don't want to do that. My goal is to have everything that we do continue right away, weekly, which is also, I guess, why the seasons will be a good thing, right? Because if we're always going to go weekly, then we gotta have some break, right? So that's my goal, is to do that. And then, yeah, I think, I feel like I got everything. I wrote down notes. I mean, I scribbled things down on a piece of paper, but I'll take some questions real quick here because I got that in 45 minutes. Pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Let's see, chat here. Let me just go over. All right. So Patreon. Oh, no, no, no. Sorry, I meant the streams, right? Live streams. I'm gonna do those weekly, right? But the Patreon game, I still want to keep that every other week. It's that I don't want to. I again from my first comment, I can't overburden myself, and I want to make sure that I have time for everything in my life. So I want to make sure I can do that and do it the right way. So weekly for anything we stream, but the Patreon campaign is going to be the right one. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me scroll up a little bit because I think I missed some here. Okay, it's good. So a lot of people are liking the tomb idea. Good, good, good. Yes, I am sadistic. Yes, I do like killing the player characters, I should say. Let's see here. Yeah, so Chris, yeah, so I obviously the Keep crew, the five of them, they're awesome, right? All of them are awesome, and even Fritz, I wish he could have made it work in his schedule, but his job's got to come first. Um, I would love to just say those five are always doing it, but I do want to mix up the games. I feel like it's fun to see different people from different games play with each other, different personalities. I also don't want it to become stale. And I know the Keep is by far the most popular game here, but I think if you like the style of game that we play, if you like those players, you should check out the other ones. I do think that I run things relatively similar. I don't, my Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign was super dark, super gritty, old school style, I feel like, and it was a new 5e module. I think it was great. Look, Wild Beyond the Witchlight was totally different, but that's because it's a Feywild campaign. It's supposed to be whimsical, so it doesn't have that same feel as the kind of the old school D&D has, but I think that's just tone. It's just tone. So I think it's best for the channel to mix people up. And look, like I said, if you liked those original Keep on the Borderlands crew, you're going to see Tim and John in Call of Cthulhu. Jeff, I spoke with on the phone the other day. He is super excited for some other projects I've got down the line. I can't announce them right now, but he's super excited. And so he'll be in stuff. Everyone, all of my players, they're going to be back on the channel in some capacity. Just again, it's trying to find the right spot, the right fit. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. I try to be very, very specific with things. I also, there's some things that people have played already, and I don't want, some things they can't do. And I don't want to name any other things that I have down the line yet because I want them to be closer before I announce them. But, I'm thinking, I kind of planned out the whole year. And I don't want to announce it all because I don't want to, like I said, say something and then it's not. But looking at the chat here. Yeah, I miss Fritz. Yeah, I miss Fritz a lot. We live relatively close to each other, but his work schedule keeps him from the gaming times that I have. So it's just tough. But I mean, I've known Fritz for a long time. I've known him for about 18 years now, and no bad feelings there. Yeah, I know Castle Amber. I see a couple of Castle Amber from Chris from Island. Yeah, I have run Castle Amber before, but I'm not saying it won't be on the channel. I know that for what we want to do right now, that's a big one, right? That's a really long game, and it's possible. It's possible. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed when I ran it, but it wasn't on stream. So I'm open to that too. I'm open to actually doing something, something that I've run before, because then I feel like if I've run it before, it's only going to be better the next time I run it, right? I mean, it's got to be better, right? Um, let's see here. Jeff will be in the Castle of Amber. Wonder if he's played that one. I don't know. He's an old school gamer, so I don't know. I don't know what he's played exactly. Maybe I have to get a list of Steve as well. Steve and Jeff, they've been played for a long time, so they might have run a lot of these adventures. Would I consider others running games on the channel? Yeah, James. I mean, look, CJ has run 2 games now. It's been great. I really appreciate the opportunity to play. I just sometimes it's hard to uh, give up the reins, so to speak. But yeah, it's a possibility. Other people could run things too, for sure. Let's see here. Joseph, Castle Amber, Temple of Elemental Evil. Hmm. Let's see. This thing is so heavy. I have I don't know if they could see with the light here. There you go. The Temple of Elemental Evil 5e conversion, Goodman Games, the double bound. I mean, look at this. It's massive. I actually have it. It just sits literally right next to me on my desk because I can't fit this on my bookshelf. My bookshelf is so full and this is so heavy. Hamlet confirmed. Yeah, I don't know. Um, I don't know about this one, everybody. I don't know. Yeah, it's long. Yeah, it's long. Grim Gary, good point. It's long. I look. I'm never gonna say never. Okay, it's possible that I will run anything here on the channel, but I've just got to, like I said, I've got to pick and choose my battles, and I've got to make sure that when I feel that calling, that passion for something, that I do it. Because the last thing I want to do is just be like, I run something that's clearly going to take a year of my life and not enjoy it. So, not be fully committed to it, I should say, is what it is. But yeah, yes, thank you, James. Appreciate all your support. If you got to head out, go ahead. I'll stick on for just a few more minutes. Kind of did everything I wanted to do, but just a little bit of recap here. Some of the format changes I'm really excited for. I like playing weekly. Really excited about that. YouTube only, I'm actually even more excited about because while Twitch was an interesting format, like videos don't get saved and it's just live, you got to watch it live. I feel like the people that do Twitch, what they do is they only stream to Twitch and you either catch that live and then they put it on YouTube as a VOD, right? So you can watch it whenever you want, but they might have a delay. Like Critical Role does this, right? They stream on Thursday. You cannot rewind, go back, you start late, and then you catch it on Sunday night when they release it, or Monday, whenever it is they release it. I forget what day it is, Monday maybe even. And that's fine for them. It's just, again, my viewers, the viewer base is on YouTube. So I feel like I would be making it harder for the people that want to watch my stuff by doing Twitch and then uploading later. I've thought long and hard about this, and I just want you to watch my stuff. That's it. I just want you to be able to enjoy the material I'm putting out. So I'm just putting it right to YouTube, only YouTube, and then it's available immediately. That's it. That's really all it is. And then I think the 2.5 hour, while the time frame does doesn't feel totally like pure D&D. Like if I played with my friends back in the day in high school, we would just play for like 5 hours, right? 6 hours. We just play till it's 2 in the morning and we, have to go to sleep or whatever. But, that doesn't really fit into like I think an entertainment format. I think 2.5 hours are perfect for an introduction, a little bit of a, chat, get to know the personalities. And then we play, it's like 2 and 15 solid game time hours. And then it leaves off wanting for more, hopefully, right? That's what I think fits best, and also fits best to my schedule, because I can't really get down to the computer earlier than that. But yeah, so that's basically what my big changes are. New campaign means creating new characters. How does that work for higher level campaigns like the Tomb? So the Tomb, yeah, we are going to be creating new characters for the adventure. For Tomb, I'm going to be using the old school house rules that we've used. Like you roll straight down, strength through charisma. Whatever you roll for that, that's what you get. using Jeff's recommendation of the Stars Without Number game that he referenced it from, we can substitute one of those for a 14. So that way, even if you roll terrible like Hieronymus did in Keep, you still have the ability to be whatever class you want to be. You won't be optimizing, right? You're not min maxing because you had to take them in order. So that's really it. That's really all it is stat wise. We're gonna be using the same house rules, which is kind of like the 5e hardcore mode blended in with my own house rules, and you'll see. We'll have a whole true session 0 where they create characters. I think with the tomb being a big dungeon crawl, we might see characters kind of geared towards that, but I'm going to be giving them a premise as well. So the premise at the session 0 would probably broaden their ideas for their characters. But we'll be starting at level 12 and we'll go through level 14. It's not going to be experience based because I don't want to, with it being more focused than keep us a bigger sandbox. I want it to be milestone, but we'll be getting through 14. So like they will be level 12, they will be level 13 and be level 14 in the adventure. Yes, I agree. 30, yeah, post 35 years old, less time for D&D. Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, it's the way it is, right? I'm actually very fortunate that I get to game as much as I do. I mean, I play at my gaming club, Battle for Salvation on Mondays, play Warhammer there mostly. There's actually a group of D&D players there now. My friend Bruce, one of my oldest friends, he's been running West March's game there. But it's very hard for me to play in that because I'm trying to get some Warhammer in, and then I do stream 2 times a week roughly, so I get a good amount of gaming, and I can't complain. My wife is a saint. Tomb on hardcore, yes. Dread said, so yeah, I want it to feel like the old school feel that we have for Keep, and I want it to be deadly, but I also don't want it to be unwatchable. So there's going to be a balance between what the Tomb is and what 5e version is. There's going to be somewhere in that middle ground, because the Tomb is really, I think, no fun if you run it true to exactly what it was, because it was meant to purposely kill players and just annoy them. But there's also no fun in nerfing it like the 5e version does. So there's going to be a nice little balance with a lot more to flesh out. So yeah, that's going to be it. Yeah, I know, Ben. The Battle for Salvation's closed for the holidays, right? We were closed yesterday because it was Christmas observation, and then New Year's is observed on the Monday as well. So if you're around, though, if anybody's around, Battle for Salvation Gaming Club, where we meet on Monday nights in West Harrison, New York, it's great. Come. Let's see here. Anything else? And then we'll call it a stream. You've been great watching along with me. Thank you for those who have been sticking through the whole stream. Any other last questions here, and then we'll close it out. And I think I did well with the stream, right? I always feel like with the live streams, it's just me. It's not well, no, I shouldn't say that. I had CJ on for one. I have done live streams with Joey. So it's a little, but when I'm by myself, I feel like I wanna keep it tight, keep it to 1 hour. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it. You started as a way to prep Candlekeep. Awesome. I'm so excited to hear that, because I loved Candlekeep Mysteries. So good. Thank you for all the support. Multiple TPKs, the false entrances. Yeah, that'd be something, huh? Just to TPK them right there. Greyhawk Exile, like or dislike Bob? Please, like I said, like or dislike. I think they all work really well. Don't forget to like or dislike this video, though, because YouTube, I think somebody posted something earlier about like how do we spread the word. I don't know. Everybody, our channel's great. It's growing. I forget exactly where we're at right now. 1.53k subscribers. It's growing. I can't say anything bad about it. I mean, we're a small channel. That's okay. It's small. It's intimate. I get to know a lot of you. I'm happy with the growth of the channel. Like I said earlier, the question about monetization, we got monetized this year, but again, I mean, this is not what I'm doing for money, right? It's not feasible. if it makes money and one day it becomes something bigger, great. But I just do it because I love gaming. I love the games we play. I love sharing these stories with you. I love chatting with you all. And Discord, if you come on Discord, which is the link is down below, I I try to reach out to every comment, right? I mean, if you're in it, you can vouch for me. I try to engage with everybody. It's awesome. It's fun to build this community together. So be a part of it. Thank you, Ben. The music was from Tabletop Audio. It was Outpost 31. That was my intro music. Tabletop Audio is so cool. I use it for all my streams. They're really also open to people live streaming with their music. Especially smaller streams that aren't big corporate ones. So really great. You should check them out. Thank you again, all of these people. Everyone that's commented here in the chat tonight. I appreciate the support any way possible. Really, it means a lot. Okay, so we're gonna call it a stream here. I think. Last question. So, how many State of the Channel streams in the year? I think just the one. I mean, would you like to see more of this where I just kind of tell you my thoughts? If you like that, maybe we could do something periodically, but I don't know. I don't know how much people care about this stuff, but those of you obviously watching did. Yeah, I mean, these are easy. I mean, it's just me and the camera. So, but big takeaways. Call of Cthulhu's coming. Tomb of Horrors is coming. Maybe a mid-year state of the channel. Yeah, exactly. It's something I enjoy, and this is a lot of fun to chat with all of you directly. Normally, I've got all these other players, these pesky players, and they take all my attention. I can't chat with you all, but thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll see each other very soon. We'll see each other on the tabletop, maybe. Happy New Year.